Hi, this is Rachel with Rachel's What Works For Me, a channel where I talk about the different things that I've learned over my lifetime in different categories, from financially to spiritually to work-related stuff and just everything. I just kind of talk about what works for me in the hopes that it can help you. Today we're continuing our series of what works with me financially, and I'll talk about the Dave Ramsey Baby Step program that my husband and I did to get rid of $72,000 in debt on a household income of about $55,000 in 2 years. So we followed that path. It's not the only path to debt freedom, but we have found that it was one that we could work, that we could understand, that was manageable, and that helped us get to debt freedom. And I'll talk about in my next video why that matters. A lot of our friends and family said that everybody has debt, everybody has a car payment, everybody has all these different things. And so it wasn't, a worthwhile endeavor to do that, but we found it to be. And so I'll talk more about why that's valuable in the next step, which is actually about paying off the debt. But the first step in Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps is to save $1,000. And there are a couple of reasons why this is the very first step. First, it is something that you can see progress in very quickly. So it's important to see actual progress in this financial freedom process, because we all know what to do. We all know to live below our means, to spend less than we make, but the majority of people in America are not doing that. So it's not about head knowledge, it's about practical application and seeing the benefits. So saving $1,000 is something that you can begin immediately. If you have a change jar, if you have a paycheck and you've got a little extra money, you can immediately begin making a dent into that $1,000. The way that my husband and I did it was that we sold things. So we went around our house, we had a garage sale. Out of the garage sale, I think we made $300 or $400. And that was a really good start towards our 1,000. And so we just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. That was our sole focus. Any extra money we had went to that one step. We weren't worried about anything else in our financial journey except for just saving that $1,000. And having $1,000 saved does a couple of things. First of all, it allows you to stop any overdrafting that you might be doing every month, which not just saves you the overdraft, but also saves you the fees associated with it. So if you have $1,000, you can make sure that your bills are covered that you're paying. The second thing it does is it helps you not go to your credit cards when you have something that you don't have the cash in your checking account for. So it protects you from adding more debt to your debt that you're going to pay off eventually. It also gives you a little bit of a sense of security. If you've never saved $1,000, if you've never had $1,000 at one time, it's a big deal. It's really awesome. And so proving to yourself that you can follow a disciplined path, having a little extra security that you didn't have before, and trying to focus on using money that you have instead of debt, which is money that you don't have that you're borrowing, are all foundational principles to this whole process. And you can do fun stuff when you get the $1,000. I've seen people buy a frame, and you could get, every Goodwill and thrift store has old frames. You can buy a frame, lay your money out in a fan, and put a little sign that says break in case of emergency, because that's what it's for. We just kept our cash in a safe in our house, and just had it there, and we knew it was there if we needed anything, if we had an emergency. That's what that was for. Now, during the process that you're getting up to that 1,000 in baby step 1, if you do spend any of it, your first priority is to fill it back up. So you want to, as consistently as you can, keep $1,000 in your savings as you go through baby step 2, which I'll talk about in the next video. So the foundation of all financial planning, as far as what has worked for me, is the budget. That's my last video. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you go back and watch it. And then to begin the path to move myself out of a debt cycle, which I have a pretty intense story about, and to move myself into a place where I own my money and I have saved and I protected myself and all that kind of stuff, the first step was to saving $1,000 in cash. So if you're interested in the Dave Ramsey program or anything like that, feel free to comment below and I can answer any questions about that experience. But the first step in the plan that we followed, of course, might not work for you, but it worked for me, is to save that $1,000 in cash so you have proof that you can do it. You have a little bit of a barrier against any emergency, and you're not continuing to add to your debt, which you're going to tackle on the next step. So I hope that's helpful. That's what worked for me financially, and I'll see you next week with our debt payoff journey. Thanks.